Coming up on First at 4, Governor Beshear visits Letcher County for a higher ground community housing site announcement. And police in Maine reveal more information about the suspect in last night's mass shooting.
Plus, we are tracking a fall blast by next week. Those details coming up as Mountain News First at 4 starts right now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, a new higher ground community is set to be built in Jenkins in Letcher County. Dozens of leaders gathered to announce the new community, including Governor Andy Beshear earlier this afternoon. It's going to be called the Grand View Neighborhood and will be home to approximately 115 flood survivors. It's partially funded by the Team Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief Fund. Mayor of Jenkins, Todd Dupree, says he's excited about the project, adding that it's been a long time coming.
Well, we're really excited about today. You know, this has been going on since after the flood. I think we're about the week 53 mark on working on this project. Working with the Commonwealth, federal partners, and the landowners ourselves to get this put together. So we're excited for it to be coming together today.
Dupree says they hope to get started with this project fairly soon. Later, the governor announced a 7th high ground community that will add 12 homes in Floyd County in Wayland. We'll have much more on the governor's stop in Letcher County later tonight. Beshear's opponent in this year's election, Daniel Cameron, begins what he's calling the Fight for Kentucky bus tour across the state next week. Monday evening at 6:45, he'll be at the historic Davis House in Paintsville. Then he has several stops in the region on Halloween. He will be at Smokin' Axes in Pikeville at 8:15 Halloween morning. Then there's a stop at Big Blue Smokehouse here in Hazard at 10:15. Again, this is Tuesday, October 31st. After that, a 12:15 visit to HT Warehousing in London. A nonprofit leading the way in the battle against substance abuse now has a new leader. Operation Unite named Tom Vicini as the president starting this month. Vicini is taking over as the 4th president of the nonprofit, which was launched by Congressman Hal Rogers in 2003. Vicini says he's been with Unite for 17 years and has worn many hats during that time span, starting as a coalition coordinator in Hazard.
I worked with community groups to try to help them build prevention programming and just to respond to the needs of their communities. So I did that I started with Unite and was doing 5 counties, and within about a month I was doing 10 counties.
Vicini says he then took the deputy director position for 8 years before taking this position. He says their main goal continues to be prevention, which we'll have more on tonight at 6.
I know it sounds like a broken record, but more dry and mild weather is on the way into this afternoon across the mountains. Let's take a live look from Buffalo Mountain. You can see we are dry, also above average. Those temperatures back in the middle to upper 70s right now at Buffalo Mountain. And same story across the region right now, sitting at 76 in Manchester, also London, 75 in Pikeville, and 77 for Jackson, also Middlesboro and Harlan at this hour. So once again, we are about 10 degrees above average on your Thursday. Up on the radar, we are dry once again, all thanks to this strong area of high pressure off the eastern coast. And once again, that will sit there into this evening, also into tonight. So if you have any plans for outdoor dinner on your Thursday, the forecast looking pretty good. We stay dry, also mild. Those temperatures back in the upper 60s and lower 70s. We fall into the middle and upper 50s and lower 60s as you wake up on Friday. Now we are watching out for a few changes in the weather pattern by Friday. Also into this weekend, a few showers are possible. Most of us, though, are dry, but higher rain chances on the way by Monday, all thanks to a cold front. And then some chilly weather is on the way by Halloween, also for the middle of next week. All those details coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. At least 18 people were killed in mass shootings in Lewiston, Maine last night. At least 13 others were injured. Police say the suspect is still at large. They are trying to track down 40-year-old Robert Card. He's considered armed and dangerous. The shootings began shortly before 7 p.m. Maine State Police said by shortly after 8 p.m. they were investigating at multiple locations.
Currently, there is an arrest warrant for 8 counts of murder for Mr. Card. And the reason it's 8 counts because 10 people have not yet been identified. As those people are identified, the counts will probably go to the total of 18.
State police urged residents of Lewiston and Lisbon, Maine to shelter in place. Numerous schools in the region are also closed due to the manhunt. Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell talked about the mass shootings in Maine on the Senate floor today. The senator says he was devastated to learn what had happened.
We pray especially for the victims of this senseless violence, for their families, and for the law enforcement personnel working tirelessly to save lives and bring the suspect to justice.
The shooting was the country's 36th mass killing this year, in which at least 190 people have died. So far this year, the nation has witnessed the second highest number on record of mass killings and deaths to this point in a single year. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are voicing their thoughts as the U.S. House of Representatives elected a speaker yesterday. It took 3 weeks for Congress to elect Representative Mike Johnson, a Louisiana Republican. They previously picked 3 higher-profile nominees, none of whom could win over Republican holdouts and secure a majority vote. Johnson has voted against Ukraine aid and is an ally of former President Trump.
Hopefully they can get up and functioning again and deal with the issue of providing aid for Israel, and we'll see about obviously where the votes are on Ukraine, but I certainly expect that there will be a big vote in the end in the House and the Senate for a package that supports America's national security objectives.
Johnson is now second in the line of presidential succession after the vice president. The House in January 2025 will have a key role in certifying the winner of next year's presidential election. Coming up on First at 4, it is considered a chore to many homeowners clearing away those leaves. One expert weighs in on whether raking them is even necessary.
Plus, we are tracking spotty rain chances for tomorrow, also into the weekend, but better chances on the way by next week. That forecast coming up after this break.